When it comes to EVE Online, every player wants to know the most effective tactic available. You want to know the meta. The meta controls everything. It determines what will and will not happen. Knowing the meta will alter your views, make you question your reality. It might even make you laugh. And now, you're part of it. You're watching The Meta Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Meta Show. Today is Saturday, May the 25th, 2024. I'm Brisc Rubal. I'm joined alongside Dave Archer. Today is a monumental day in the history of the stream. We've had a number of hosts on this show since the very beginning back in 2015. Whether it was Nistrick or Mittens or Laz Telraven or The Big Red Boat or me or Dave or Mark Resurrectus. Today is a passing of the torch from myself to Dave. Dave will be the new Meta Show host as of next week, June 1st. He gets thrown kicking and screaming into the deep end of the pool. Are you ready for that, Dave?
Definitely, yeah. Ready to be insufferably arrogant to everyone, as Reddit says. So we'll see how it goes.
I have to say, I'm amused that Reddit said that you were insufferably arrogant, because I thought that was my job.
I know. It's amazing, isn't it? It must be the fact I'm British.
It's got to be the British thing. Otherwise, I don't know what it is with me. Maybe it's the beard. Maybe it's the American flag in the background. I don't know. But normally I'm the one getting the insufferable arrogance. So I'm glad that at least one thing will stay the same on this show no matter what. The host will be insufferably arrogant. Now, before we get into all of the end of the show and the tears, I'm not going to cry unless they're tears of joy. Brisc is leaving type stuff, and Merkel Chen will be here later to talk a little bit about what's been going on the last 5 years or so with the show. But in the meantime, we got a show to do. And I wanted to start where we left off last week. Now, Dave, you remember last week's show, right? Did you have fun on last week's show? I had fun on last week's show.
Yeah, it was good fun. I had fun being quite smug and saying CCP are quite stupid. So
it's amazing to me. Just, I have to laugh, because this is the type of thing where, you know, no matter what we do or say, there is somebody that's going to be like, look at these guys on this goon show. They are a bunch of assholes. They like ganking. There were no less than, and I'm not even kidding, there were no less than 3 different posts on Reddit, all of which got a bunch of attention, complaining about us. They then have spies in on Sin's last group, week's show. This has been talking on last week's show. Some of the folks that are in Sin's group don't like that. It's just hilarious to me, complaining about the fact that we don't like the Avalanche and we think that the Avalanche is OP. Another one. Just watch the YouTube VOD for the Goons Forum live talk show thing. That is the official name of the Meta Show. We are no longer the Meta Show. We are the Goon live talk show thing. I like light mode on Reddit. Deal with it, okay? They're already crying about it not being worth it to gank the new haulers. It made me laugh for a few minutes. And then, of course, there's this other one, the hot take, new haulers aren't OP, people are just not used to combat freighters. Here is the bottom line. And I will go through this again, because we said this last week on the show. And to me, it's the same type of crap that we constantly deal with. The gankers are toxic. The anti-gankers are toxic. Everybody's toxic. These guys all want to argue how toxic the other side is. But the reality is, and I've said this before, I said it in the last show, and I'll say it again, ganking is a part of EVE. People blowing shit up, no matter where it is in the game, is a part of EVE. The concept that you are safe somewhere in EVE, the only place you are safe is docked up in an NPC station. That's it. Nowhere else. If you are undocked, you are not safe. It doesn't matter where you are. Even if you're tethered on a structure, we can bump your ass off. The whole point is, there are tons of people out there complaining and saying, oh my goodness, this is horrible. You guys are whining. I can't believe you're whining about this new ship that can shoot back. Finally, they can shoot back against the gankers. And Dave, did we say anything last week about the missiles on these ships?
No, we didn't say that they shouldn't be tanked or shouldn't have weapons. We just said that it's a bit much. Because I would love it if they shot back. It'd be entertaining. But shooting back more than a battleship on a freighter?
I mean, the bottom line is, nobody cares if they can shoot back. It's fine. The gankers don't care. Okay, you kill a couple gankers. That's fine. Good. Maybe it'll make you feel a little better when you lose your ship because you didn't have a scout and you autopiloted through a gate that was not safe and you were AFK, which is 90% of the time what happens when these freighters get ganked. And I've been there and I've seen it. There's nobody. We will sit there. We will kill. They won't even notice. We won't even get kill rights for like hours later when they finally realize what happened. These are not people who are paying attention to the game, okay? And anybody with half a brain and a scout who can open up Z-Kill and see, oh, there have been 7 freighter kills on this gate in the last hour, maybe I'll wait until they're not there anymore. The other 23 hours a day when they're not there. But regardless, the bottom line for me is the ship's overpowered. I know it's overpowered. You know it's overpowered. All the people voting me down, voting Joe Painter down, telling Jason Kujian doesn't know what he's talking about, which is to me the most hilarious thing I've seen on Reddit in a long time. All of this stuff is just, we're trying to be helpful, okay? You put the ship out, it's going to cause damage. And we would like to see less damage. So if you want to, I don't have a problem with them putting guns on freighters. They could put a gun on every freighter right now. I don't care. The tank on this thing is a little too much, and the price is the exact same as the freighters. The bottom line, as Faustus just said, as I was about to say before he typed it, one ship should not make 4 classes redundant, and it should not cost exactly the same as the existing ships when it does so much more and is so much better. They can nerf this in a variety of ways before it comes out. They can leave the guns on. Nobody cares about the guns. They can reduce the tank. That's fine. They can reduce what it can haul. That's fine. Or they can ramp up the cost so that it's in line with like a jump freighter. That would be fine too. I don't think anybody would complain about it. But I don't care what your issue is with ganking. I don't care how many times you got ganked. I don't care if you think it's toxic gameplay. I don't care if you're some kind of Bushido, White Knight, I can't handle it. Oh my God, they killed a helpless freighter. I don't care if that's your issue. What your issue should be is this good or bad for EVE Online? And I think it's bad. And I'm hoping that they'll fix it.
Also, somebody said in the chat that the Zenitra was nerfed into uselessness. Oh, I think we're putting it to very good use at the moment.
I think the Zern is the best, one of the best in all of all the dreads. I mean, yeah, the ramp up it takes a while, but if you're using it for structure bashing or you're using it for killing other dreads, it's great. It's one of the best, and it's got the best tank. It's a great dread. All right, so I don't want to go into too much detail because we did an entire show last week on it, okay? But the bottom line for me is, man, Reddit was hopping with very unhappy people, mad at me, mad at Joe Painter, mad at Dave, all because we had the audacity to suggest that an overpowered ship that anybody being objective will admit is overpowered should possibly get altered before it gets released. And I hope it does. And I hope it does. And if it does, what I will say is thank you, CCP, and then I'm going to stunt on all of you fuckers who acted like we shouldn't be calling for this. I'm just saying. The smug meter will be off the chart. I might have to come back for a show just to be smug about it if these changes go through, if there are changes. All right. Now, moving on. We can't just have a normal week with no drama, so let's get to the next part. Let's get back to the next part of the drama that was this week. And then we'll start by talking about the new Skinner tool that the CCP has put together that allows us to create our own skins. This is going to be our top story of the week, the new skin tool and the drama surrounding it. Now, those of you who have watched this show for more than 5 minutes know that I am what we refer to in the legal business as a skin whore. I have more than 2,400 skins. I am a skinaholic. I cannot stop buying skins. And one of the things that I have campaigned on when I was on the CSM for 4 terms was more customization in EVE. Not only a desire for cat ears, but a desire for all of the different colors of the rainbow, and let me make my own skins. Give me the chance to put my alliance and corporation logos on the skins, all of these things we advocated for a while. And finally, after years of asking, we are getting an in-game skinning tool that will allow us, it started with the structure skins, now it's moving on to regular ships. CCP put this video out. I'm going to play it for you guys because I don't know how many of you saw it, but I want to play it. I mean, I may not play the entire thing, but I want to give you the gist of it. And then I want to go into what the drama is and what people are complaining about, because it touches on a subject that we have talked about on this show 10 million times, and that is monetization in EVE and what's okay and what's not okay. So bear with me. We're going to watch a little bit of this video, and then Dave and I are going to talk about monetization.
With the Equinox expansion, we're extending the Skinner tool to ships, empowering you to fly your true colors, express your identity, and unleashing your creativity through the design of personalized ship skins. Skinner also offers the ability to sequence and activate the skin licenses to adorn your own ships or to strengthen the collective identity of your corporation or fleet. In addition, the enterprising pilot can even turn a profit by selling the skins in the Paragon Hub. Skinner for Ships opens a variety of new career opportunities for capsuleers. You can make a name for yourself as an artist, or you can specialize in creating a cohesive look for your corporation. Skinner also presents opportunities to generate a new income stream by either selling your masterpieces or by specializing in seeking out and selling design elements. Skinner is a robust tool that puts the control in your hands, empowers you to tailor your experience to your individual desires, and gives you more diverse ways to express yourself. With design elements being a key part of the design process, a new ecosystem and opportunities for rare and valuable skins are created. We are excited to see an explosion of variety in skins, as Skinner will truly empower you to craft your unique identity and make each ship a statement of expression. The new Skinner interface introduces a robust palette of design elements required to design the skins. These consist of basic and metallic nanocoatings in a variety of colors, as well as patterns. Each skin design offers 5 customization slots, 4 for nanocoatings and 1 for patterns. The Design Studio offers unprecedented customization and creativity, as you can move, rotate, and resize the patterns around the hull, and then apply a nanocoating or a metallic to it. This lets you create a variety of unique and distinctive designs. Paragon will supply all capsuleers with a starting library of nanocoatings and patterns, but more can be acquired through the new Paragon Hub on the market and around New Eden through event rewards, air daily goals.
I want to show this here. So this is one of the things, obviously, look at this. You see that? See that? See that? That's Plex. They're going to charge you Plex to buy these different metallics, these design elements, okay? This is part of it. Let's keep going.
Loot, and more. Design elements need to be activated and can either be unlimited or limited use. Some design elements will only be dropped in limited quantities and on limited occasions, which presents opportunities to acquire and sell them, as well as create rare and desirable skins that could fetch a hefty price in the Paragon Hub. You can design for almost any ship in EVE, apart from Tech 3 ships, special edition ships, and the capsule. You can save up to 5 designs at any given time to come back to and sequence later, with the ability to save more designs coming in the future. You can also give your designs a name and add them to a unique skin line. Now that you have created your masterpieces, it's time to see them in action. which requires you to sequence the design into a skin license. You can either sequence one skin at a time, or in bulk if you have the skills. To sequence skins for all hulls, you need to have Omega clone status, as alpha clones are limited to sequencing for alpha pilotable hulls. The best way to think about it is, if you can fly the ship, then you can sequence a skin for it. If a design utilizes unlimited use design elements, you will also need sequence binders to sequence the skin. Paragon provides a certain quantity to get you started, but more can be bought on the market, acquired through events, and as loot. The sequencing cost is based on a tier system, using Plex as the primary currency, and is based on the rarity and quantity of design elements.
Now, you hear that. Plex is the currency. Now, some of you out there are probably freaking about the fact that it's Plex. I, on the other hand, am happy that it's Plex because that means it's not fucking Evermarks, which is what I was worried it was going to be, and that would have been awful. Let's keep going.
It's used. The sequencing time is influenced by the tier of the skin, as well as your skill level, so you may want to train up those skills. When the skin is ready, it will be added to your collection from the queue. You can then either activate it for your own ship or sell it in the Paragon Hub. The Paragon Hub is an essential part of the Skinner experience, providing a platform where you can showcase your designs or find the ideal look for your fleet. It offers an easy-to-navigate interface and opportunities for designers to make a name for themselves, not to mention untold riches. Here you can buy design elements and trade skins for either Plex or ISK, based on the seller's preference. When listing a skin for sale, you choose the currency and decide the length of listing, which determines the basis for the Skinner service fee and hub listing costs. We're also introducing a new collection to easily maintain an overview of design elements and skins that you own. The collection also features new skin icons, each displaying the ship adorned with the skin, allowing you to fully appreciate your collection. Here you can navigate your collection to seek inspiration for your next designs as you browse your skin elements or seamlessly find the right skin for an upcoming adventure. This is the first iteration of Skinner for ships. We're very excited to build on it in the upcoming releases and expansions. We already have plans to add a share design functionality, more features tailored towards groups and corporations, as well as adding a ton new design elements and even new categories for them. I think one of the things that players will enjoy the most about this is just being able to create an identity for themselves, create custom ship skins that really empower them to show who they are while flying around New Eden. A cool new thing that we're allowing players to do is to sell their own skins for Plex. It's a great way to make a lot of money in New Eden, and I'm pretty excited about it because hopefully I can make a lot of money as well.
There you go. Now, that was not a big deal. The big deal basically came when Nikon and CCPB did another stream. I'm not going to play this whole thing. This was an hour long, but it went through all the different things, and they talked about the various costs, all the different things that were going to happen. And in the end, what essentially we found out was that they are going with what is a pretty solid microtransactions feel to the Skinner tool. Okay, you're going to buy skin materials and things from the Plex shop. You can design your own skin. There's a waiting period based on, and he said that in the game, depending on your skills and different things, there's going to be an amount of time that it takes to bind these skins to create them. They're going to sell. Apparently, according to them, they're selling. You can skip a waiting period if you put Plex in. It says the price of skin increases with rarity. Price of skin materials you already paid for, but that's pretty standard. And then you trade your skins exclusively on the skin market for Plex with a 30% tax. No contracts, no direct trade, no Alliance Corp skins. Well, obviously, there's not going to be contracts, direct trade. Why not? Can you think of anything off the top of your head as to why they wouldn't allow contracts or direct trade, Dave?
RMT going on there, maybe?
RMT! I mean, come on, guys. They're letting you sell something for Plex in the game. Okay? It's bad enough that you can sell a ship for Plex now, and it could be RMT. the last thing they want to do is make it easier for people to RMT. So they want to make sure that they're not getting through that. And yes, there's sales tax. Okay. I mean, frankly, I'm okay with the sales tax if it means CCP gets money so that they can keep designing the game. I think that's okay. It's not an NFT. It is not ripping anybody off. It is not the camel's nose under the tent. But anyway, the complaints now we're getting from people, and there's a whole Reddit thread about it that this came from, and it's full of people complaining. We already have CCP sanctioned RMT. What else? I mean, guys, come on. Like, I said this earlier, and I don't know if anybody is going to believe me, but Dave, you can tell me if I'm full of shit. I have led the charge personally on the show, on the CSM, multiple times to stop CCP from crossing the line when it comes to bad monetization. When they tried to sell retrievers, I got together, I wrote a long post, I put it up, I got half the former CSM members that are in existence to sign the thing, and we got them to stop doing that. When they accidentally put out what looked to be gold ammo, at least it was a combat booster that you could only get by purchasing something in the New Eden store, we jumped on that instantly, got them to apologize, admit it was a mistake, and pull the thing. Every time there has been anything that moves in the direction of gold ammo or selling ships for money or anything that we, the players, have said is not okay as microtransactions, I have been one of the guys in the front. I'm not in the crowd with the pitchforks. I'm the guy in the front with the torch leading the way, telling you guys, don't do it, stop it. And we have been able to stop them on multiple occasions. I am not saying that right now because I see nothing wrong with anything they're doing here. Dave, do you see anything wrong with anything they're doing here?
No, because you're already buying skins for players. Simple.
Right.
It doesn't affect the game at all. If you think a skin affects your game, get better at the damn game. Quite frankly. And adding to that,
cosmetics.
I'd rather sell it for Plex because you keep your ISK in Plex. Yeah, it could make you more ISK down the line than it currently is worth. Adding to that, as Kano said in chat, game companies can no longer survive on the model of when, for instance, I was younger and Brisc was my age, of you buy one game and everybody's going to buy that game and it makes enough money to continue making more games. You know? They need to have some sort of continuing income source. Now, at the moment, that is skins, that is the packs you can get on the New Eden store, which I'd remind you all, if you get good at the game, you can buy for ISK in the first place because you buy Plex. But they need some sort of continuing income source. If they're going to let you make your own skins that are going to essentially make their skins practically irrelevant, they're making money off to continue giving you this game and pay their ever-increasing workforce they've got to give you this game in a world where everything's getting more expensive, then they need a way to make money off it. Be that a Plex sync with the tax to remove that Plex from the game, therefore making some sort of income for them. Be that making you pay for the paints, and quite frankly, I saw 25 Plex on that video. If you can't rat up enough for 25 Plex, you're playing this game wrong. I'm a big PvPer, but there are literally hour-long videos of me making billions and billions of ISK. Do it right. If you can't do it right, then maybe you shouldn't be getting those skins. If you want to do it, do it.
The bottom line is this company needs money to make the game. Okay, period. And we have been telling them for ages when they have gone through every different kind of monetization that you can think of. When we started with the with the $70 jeans and the Monocle Gate and the Summer of Rage, moving forward, all the different things that they put together, going from the subscription model to a free-to-play model, allowing, I mean, this is one of those, this was the first game that allowed you to earn enough in-game currency to flex your account, essentially, to pay for your subscription using the time that you play in-game. This is one of the first ones that ever did that, okay? These guys have been on the cutting edge of every kind of microtransaction, and half the time that they've been on the cutting edge, they've been on the bleeding edge and have gotten in trouble for it and had to pull back, like they did with Monocle Gate, like they did with the Retriever, with selling the Retrievers and those types of things. They get nailed on it. But the one thing that when I was on the CSM, that I've heard players say over and over and over again was, okay, it's okay to charge us money for cosmetics. So they put together this whole Skinner that lets you do that, and they bind it up in a process that involves small amounts of Plex to do certain different things. I mean, at the end of the day, this is what we told them was okay. I think it's perfectly fine. If I saw anything in here that made me think that this was somehow, you know, we're slowly boiling the frog here, like I would say so, but I don't. It's the same thing we have seen in tons of other games. It is the same. I mean, the whole, some people specifically are very unhappy with the fact that you'll be able to pay extra Plex to reduce the amount of time that it takes to make a skin, because that smells like one of these phone, you know, games where you pay extra money and you can do more in the same amount of time. And that's how they make their money. And I mean, I'm not going to argue that it doesn't sound like that, but you know what? Those games make millions of fucking dollars. They make millions of dollars. True Stain Guy says it's going to allow easy RMT. RMT is already easy. In fact, I think the fact that they're forcing this to only go through the Paragon store means it's not going to be as easy to do RMT. It's much easier to do it by using the contract system as already exists right now. But the bottom line is, yeah, they're trying to turn this into something, I think, that makes this a viable in-game industry that you can do. And to do that, they got to make it kind of like a game. You know, at the end of the day, what I want to see is how well this works and if people really go for it. And if they don't, then we can talk about cutting some of the Plex out and making it a little cheaper. But in the end, if this means that more people are going to be able to make skins, I'm going to be able to get cool skins that Timbre can make for me directly. I can make stuff myself and sell it and make money. I will love that. It will be amazing. And I don't care how much Plex is involved. Because at the end of the day, that's what we need. And I've said the end of the day like 4 times. We need more stuff. How is it not an NFT? Because you're not the only one that owns it. You're selling it to other people and they can use it. That's not an NFT.
So it's not giving you income.
Selling a painting.
It's not giving you income, because I guarantee you, with what True Stain Guy's been saying about you could sell it for 20k Plex and then tell somebody to buy it, that is going to be painfully obvious. Like, right. Oh my! I
don't even think you're going to be able to do that. I'm sure they're going to set limits.
Yeah,
you know.
But everybody complaining. Quite frankly, you already do that. You already buy skins for Plex. You can buy like skins for the same amount of Plex in the New Eden store currently. How is this any different, other than the fact you can go and buy it for ISK on the market? Oh no, there is an extra step that you need to do. You need to go buy Plex, which also could work out in your favor in the long run, because if Isoplex goes down, which it quite often does because it goes in a kind of wave sort of thing, then that skin becomes cheaper for you. On the flip side, if Isoplex goes down, everybody's buying your skin, you hold on to that Plex and you sell it when it's high as basic market trading. And Beyond is going to be so proud that I just explained that because I'm bad at it. But it's simple. Like, Plex isn't the issue here. You could buy it with
Goshen says buying from a player, that's the issue. Why is that the issue? Because they're not unique items. You can sell them. It's not an NFT. An NFT is an item that is made on the internet that you sell, that you are the owner of. You can exclude people from being able to use it. It's your thing. It's on the blockchain. All this. This has nothing to do with that. It's a painting. It's not unique. You can make a dozen of these. You can make 1,000 of these. You can sell them in the game. That's the whole point. You can like a lot of. I feel like some people are blowing this out of proportion, because it's not like you can't sell ships via contract for Plex right now. You can do that right now.
I could sell you a skin right now for Plex.
You can sell skins for Plex right now. You can sell anything in the game for Plex right now. And you can do it through contracts. You can sell anything in the game for ISK. You can convert ISK into Plex. You can convert Plex into ISK. The only thing you can't do is convert Plex back into real life currency. That's where it's bad. So yeah, maybe somebody is going to be able to put, together a skin line, Timbre probably, that'll be able to sell tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of skins and make 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, some ridiculous amount of Plex. The only place they can sell that is in the game. The only place they can use that is in the game. So it's not creating anything new, and I don't see any potential really for crazy amounts of abuse here. If I did, I would say, okay, we shouldn't do this. Now, Tamaya says that his problem is that it could raise the ISK price for Plex when people struggle to afford Plex every month. I mean, that's fair.
Bring it down.
I mean, at the same time, the velocity of Plex is going to go up, so it could bring it down. Exactly. I mean, the bottom line is, what do people use Plex for? To buy skins on the market and to buy monthly subscription time. Is there anything else that you spend Plex on? I don't. That's the only stuff I ever spend it on. So now having a third thing, what'd you say, Dave? I'm sorry.
Occasionally the skill point bundles, because my characters got too many skill points and I'm impatient. But...
Right, there you go. I mean, I think the bottom line is, this is, I think, people complaining for the sake of complaining. And I'm not gonna bitch too much about it, although I've spent 20 minutes complaining about it. I'm not really trying to complain. I'm really just trying to say, listen, I usually have a pretty good antenna for when this company is getting close to the line of what's okay and what's not okay. And my antenna is not going off right now, because this is strictly about cosmetics. There is nothing about gold ammo. There's nothing about ships. There's nothing about, if somebody today told me on Reddit, if you can pay to speed up the process of making a skin, when is that going to translate into paying to speed up the process of making an industry job?
Oh, I'd happily do that.
I mean, that's the thing. I don't think it is. Granted, there are plenty of people that would be very happy about that happening, but I'm pretty sure CCP recognizes that that's not okay. And frankly, when it comes down to it, that would be gold ammo. That's not okay. And we would say, hey, you guys can't do that. It was bad enough. And the one argument that people will make that I think is fair is CCP said when skill injectors came out back in 2015, I think it was, that they were never going to sell skill points directly. And then they went back on that and they changed it. That's true. They did that. They did go back on their word in that regard, and they said they weren't going to do it, and then they went and they did it. And they have had their nuts busted for that for a decade. But I don't think it's been a problem, and I don't think it's caused any issues with the game, and I don't think it has put the game on a path to failure. So I'm kind of okay with it now. I just don't see why folks are so angry about that sort of stuff now. It's been around here for a while. Mappa, I know that you're like all about NFT, that like trying to make this as an NFT, but I don't know what to tell you, dude. It's not an NFT by any definition. It's just not. They're not unique art pieces. These are not unique. Many people will have them. If you, the whole idea is that they're not supposed to be unique. You're going to make money by selling a lot of them. We can agree to disagree, but you'll see. All right. Okay. All right. I'll take your word for it, but I don't think it's going to be unique. There will be more than one copy. There will be plenty of these. And I'm looking forward to seeing what folks put out. Because frankly, of all the stuff that's involved in Equinox, there's a lot of stuff in Equinox that I'm scared of. Like, I don't know how these changes to all the sovereignty stuff is going to play out. I don't know how that's going to play. We still don't have all the data on that. I think in the end, we're not going to know until probably next week. Typically, we get patch notes a week in advance. I would expect we don't get them until the actual launch day this time, because if we get it a week in advance, that's a week in advance that all the big groups have to plan things out. And I doubt CCP is going to want to give us that amount of time, but I could be wrong. But if we do see it, we'll either see it next Tuesday or the Tuesday of patch day, one way or the other, and we'll get to see exactly what all of the stuff is going to do. Plus, we've heard they've done deep dives into the skinning tool part of the expansion. They've done a deep dive into the new ships part of the expansion. They've done a deep dive into the PI stuff, the new skyhook, and those types of upwell structures that they're adding to the game in the expansion. We've not heard a lot about the Sob stuff yet, and I think they're probably going to do at least one of those, which is, going to be a thing. So at the end of the day, I think we'll find out. Man, I'm falling back. At the end of the day, by the way, is my verbal crutch. A lot of people have verbal crutches. Some people will say like or or they'll say or or if you're Casimir, you'll say right every 5 minutes. Kaz, you do.
Right.
Okay. I say at the end of the day, that's my verbal crutch. And I know it. Right? Right. Yeah. Anyway. All right, moving on. We have a Nullsec Power Hour because I want to talk about this. This is kind of a bit of a sideshow that happened this week, and it's kind of funny, and I think it's interesting, but we'll talk about it because it's from our boy, Mr. Jabroni himself, the Gobmeister. So we're going to do Nullsec Power Hour here and talk about the latest move that Horde is making, which apparently is the same move they've been making for a while. So earlier last week, Gobbins pings out. That's not a word official neophyte. Gobbins pings out. Everyone move ups. We push forward into catch. He says, a while back, we were having a grand time bopping some goons and burning their catch holdings. Then in it deployed a massive force. Good job. And we fell back to Curse to handle the pressure. Over the course of several months, we managed to defend our catch Keepstar, Curse Fortizars, and most of our allied assets in Scalding Pass and surrounding areas. Got a lot of large fights on these timers too, though we did, however, lose the perimeter Satoyos in the process. Yes, you did. You're welcome. New offensive staging. The Init forces have now withdrawn and their structures in the region eliminated, so we can go back to focusing on our beloved Goonas. Why he thinks goons are in catch, I don't know, but apparently that's what he's going to do. So he talks about new offensive staging in 1P and then different things to bring and everything. And they have a pretty new toxic doctrine tweak. They're using prophecy Navy issues, which I want to say, Dave, this is the first time in a long time that I've seen Horde introduce a new doctrine that was not just a retread of something we already did. That's kind of cool.
Well, they already use it to some extent, just with a different fit in home defense. So it'd be interesting to see what they try and do in actual combat. Home defense, they just have to deal with, small things. I would quite happily dump a battleship.
Yeah. So for some reason, as Beyond is noting, when did we take catch? I don't remember. I don't think we took catch. But again, this is more likely than not another example of how everybody in Horde cannot handle the idea that not everybody in the Imperium is in Goons form. Anyway. So he says, note the F4R Keepstar should be evacuated. They're going to unanchor it. Sadly, it's in a shit system. We should have picked 1P tack from the beginning. I don't know about that. Anyway, question, should we not hunker down at home and wait for the new patch? Answer, negative. I don't want to sit around for 20 days just to replace some Pocos while we could be smoking jabronis. Now, the idea that Horde is going back into catch is why I have named this episode, among other reasons, Everything Old is New Again. Because this is probably like the 37th time that PanFam has decided that they want to go mess with catch. PL and those guys used to do it to Brave when Brave was part of Legacy forever. It was their thing. And when they weren't smacking on catch, they were smacking on Pravi. But what I think is funny is it's just, you want to drop a content Fortizar or something and you want to get a little fight and everything, that's okay. But man, the Horde guys don't seem capable of just having content fights. Like, if you want to drop a Fortizar and have some content fights, that's fine. You don't bring paladins. You don't bring dreads, long-range dreads. You bring, well, your, prophecy navies if you want, or Feroxes or something like that. The whole idea that this is just some kind of content deployment is funny to me because, if anything, what I think this is, and Dave, you can tell me if I'm full of shit, but it's 20 days from a major expansion that's going to have a lot of impacts to Nullsec and to Nullsec Sov. You don't want to have to deal with everybody fucking with your stuff in the background, because God knows there are plenty of folks coming up north to mess with you right now. I mean, I'm surprised Alterari hasn't pinged a fleet during the show. So instead, you're going to try to create some kind of artificial place where you can get everybody to focus their attention that's closer to our territory, which makes us want to go and fight it, even though Ketch is not even remotely Goonswarm territory. And you can wave your hand over, hey guys, we're over here, we're doing all this other stuff. Don't mess with us while we're trying to figure out how to fix everything that got broken in the background. I mean, it's pretty transparent. Now, I got to say, I'm not complaining. And I give Gobbins a lot of credit. Gobbins is a smart guy. As much as I bust his nuts on this show, and I hope that Dave will continue in that thread, since they are the bad guys. And I'll talk about this a little when I do my final endgame monologue, but they are the bad guys. So we're going to give them a hard time. It's not a bad move. This is kind of, I mean, it's not a bad move at all. It just presumes that we're dumb enough to take the bait, and I don't think we are. I'm just saying. Dave, what do you think?
Yeah, I think he seems to think we care more about catch than we do. Half the time I forget we have it. Like, well, we don't as well. Our allies have it. Half the time I forget it's there. Securitas just said there's been a couple of huge fights and some dread fights and stuff. It's because we've got nothing else going on. I mean, you guys caused, with your stupid invasion, caused every other block of and yourself and us to fail Cascade. So, may as well have a fight. But at the end of the day, oh no, we lost Kev. Whatever shall I do? Where will I run my Stormbringers our way? We don't live in Kev.
There you go.
There's Dracarys and Brave.
Well, and SP is here saying, I'm sure Dracarys is reassured by this meta show. They're not watching. They're in bed.
And they have
the bottom line,
included.
And the bottom line is catch is very difficult space for anybody to hold, except the largest alliances. I bet Goons could hold catch if we wanted to. I bet Horde could hold catch. PL could not hold catch. NC Dot could not hold catch. Init could probably hold catch. Brave couldn't hold catch when they had it the last time. Okay. I mean, I love my Brave guys, but let's be honest. You know, it's shit territory. I mean, the reason I am in Goons right now was because I was in Init before, and I got into Init because my corporation was given space in catch, and we said, no, we don't want it. Catch sucks. And that's why we went to Init, to get away from being in catch. So, I mean, catch is just not the greatest territory. And as Beyond notes, I think DC knows where the line is, and I think Brave does as well. I think we're all happy that they have, you know, that they have GE Tech and everything again. But I'll tell you, if Ford wants to fight, they can come to EC Tech. We'll fight them there. We'll have some fun. And it'll be something to do for the next 20 days. But if anybody thinks that catch is a big deal or that we're going to spend a lot of time or energy to go out there, we don't have to own EC Tech. We're going to spend a lot of time to go out there and fight on it. Or yeah, is it EX6? Not EC Tech. EX6 is what I'm thinking of. We don't have to. I mean, the bottom line is we're not going to do that. Catch doesn't matter to us. It may matter to some of our allies. It may matter to the Imperium. But when I'm speaking on as a Goonswarm person, we don't give a shit. So go ahead. Have fun. Do you hate catch? Join in it. We hate catch. But, I mean, that's perfectly fair. Like, yeah. I mean, and if our allies ask for help, yeah, of course we're going to come help. But at the end of the day,
we always make it very clear when we care.
Territory we care about. Go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we always make it very clear whenever we go into any of these things, be it catch, be it the war in Dalv a few years ago, we make it abundantly clear and all the leaders talk together about where do we care about? You know, it was decided with the war in Dalv that the where we care about was Dalv. And that's why after a time in it came back, everybody in period basis came, everybody converged on Dalv. Same discussion happens when the jabronis, as you say, go to catch. Where do we care about? We drew a line in the sand. This is where we care about. I'm not going to fucking say where it is. But there we go. And that's where we care about. And everybody is on that page. Whenever someone attacks someone, whenever there's a timer, we go, how much do we care about this system? If the answer is it's outside this area, let's go for a fun fight, we'll go for a fun fight. You know?
Right. Exactly.
But at the end of the day, we do not care about catch. Unlike PandaFam, we don't like holding 20-odd regions. I don't know if it's 20-odd regions before secure test pipes.
I think it's 14.
Well, actually...
Exactly. He can actually us all he wants. I mean, I'm sure they know how much space they're renting.
Well, yes, you would hope. Be pretty shitty accounting if they didn't. Maybe Kazanir could help you out with that. But yeah, we don't grab all these big regions. We barely use all the space we have in the first place. Like, we don't rent to our corps. If a corp wants more space to do stuff, the corp can have more space to do stuff. So while you're going, we're going to burn all the goon stuff in catch, first of all, Dracarys' stuff in catch, get it right. And second of all, we don't care. How dare I be insufferably arrogant about this?
I know, and we can say catch 10,000 times, because I like saying catch because it's fun. Catch, 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 catch.
But it's going to catch on, I think.
Exactly. That was almost SEMA-worthy, Dave. I'm impressed. I'm not going to lie. The bottom line for me is Gobbins wants to create some kind of a thing. Okay. All right. We know what you're doing. We don't care. We'll come fight you, because why not? You're here. We're there. Okay. But you can't make us care about it. All right.
Hold my
That's
field
enough.
Of fucks where it is barren.
Exactly. Our field of fucks is barren. We have hit the 10-minute mark. My dear friend Merkelchen is here. He would like to say a few words as we get ready to round out my last meta show as the host. So let's bring him in. Hi, Merk. How you doing?
Good evening. Hello. Hi. Afternoon. Tuesday. No. Third. What day is it? Saturday.
Saturday.
Indeed. Thank you for allowing me to force my way onto your television program. I appreciate the generosity with your what little time. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to take your shirt off. You can't have your shirt on. This is not
with
all right.
what little time we have left to go. Look at that. I mean, it's getting critical over here. Full natty. Anyway, that's not important. None of this is important. Don't pay attention to that. Ignore it all. All right, this is what's going on. I want to take you guys back to Eve Vegas in the year of our Lord, 2019. We were at a fine dining establishment. It's a French restaurant, actually, called the Tilted Kilt. Serving some of the finest deep fried fare a fella could ever ask for. It was a day of divine providence, an arranged marriage, some would say. The big red boat was pulling out of port. He was going his own way, young man. There was a chair opening up on the meta show. We were having some internal conversations because back then I was sort of one of the leader guys of Goons. I knew Brisc from the CSM. We had been on a couple CSM terms together. We thought, this is the dude. We got to get him plugged in, get him as sort of the format guy. And at the time, his co-host Mittens was sort of more like the wild man. Brisc was the dude that went to all the meetings, put together all the outlines, did all the really not fun shit, the actual work behind the program, whereas knuckleheads like myself parachute in 11 seconds before the pre-roll is over and just crash into our computers and start talking for an hour. So I think we all kind of knew he had the stripes to handle the job. As we sit here today on episode 188 of Brisc's time in the big seat, I would say that it has been a resounding success. We are super, super proud of what has happened to our little boy. He's grown up. He is the Walter Cronkite of EVE Online news people, certainly. It's sort of a tradition of ours over on Rampage to propose a toast for someone who's, reached a worthy accomplishment or something like that. And I would say, on behalf of a grateful goon swarm, Imperium, the haters, the salt miners, anybody who is a fan of INN or just sticks around because they like watching nerds talk about spaceship, I should say we will raise a glass to our broski on a job very, very well done. Congratulations. Your quasi-soft retirement is well-deserved. Enjoy the time with your family, your friends, your doodle, all that kind of stuff. We will certainly miss you, but we're all a little bit more relieved knowing that you will still be dinkering around with the behind-the-scenes work on the Meta Show. So cheers, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you. Mrs. Brisc ran in and brought me a glass of champagne. I will take my drink. She's here to toast. There you go. Toasting. I'm going to take my privilege and do my little thing here at the end. And I'm going to go to the solo screen because I want to show you guys. I just want to talk to you guys directly. I started doing the show November of 2019, as Mark noted. I didn't know how long we were going to do it for. I didn't know what was going to happen. I had no idea that we were less than a year away from a catastrophe in the terms of COVID. I had no idea that we were coming up on the greatest war that was ever going to happen in the history of EVE up to date. I had no idea that we were going to win this war. I had no idea that I was going to be such a big part of this show for the last 5 years. And I want to say thank you to the audience because you're the reason why I do this, why I did this show. Okay. From when it started, this was always a labor of love. I don't get paid. The bits that you guys cheer and the subs that you provide to INN, I don't get a dime of that. I got a skin when we were giving skins away, but I would get those skins anyway from Rampage, so it didn't matter. So I was here for one reason only. I wanted to entertain all of you, and I hope that I have. Now, over the last 5 years, we've had a lot of stuff on this show. We've said a lot of things on this show. I've been mean. We've probably crossed the line a couple times when we shouldn't have. But at the end of the day, the goal was always to make the game more fun. Part of it is by being the kayfabe, the heel, getting out there, being mean, but at the same time then turning around and saying, hey, you know, we're the best, we're great, we're going to love everybody together. That is what I've tried to do over the last 5 years. Now, people have asked me, are you leaving the game? No. Are you leaving the meta show? Not really. I'm not going to be the face. I'm not going to be on every week, but I'm still going to be the executive producer. I'll be working with Dave, providing him with information and ideas for shows, because God knows doing this thing on your own is hard. It's not easy. And it has taken a lot out of me. If you go back, if you saw the video that I showed in the beginning when Merc started talking, I'm wearing the same shirt, same tie, same suit. I got less gray hair than I have way more gray hair than I did 5 years ago. No beard 5 years ago. I actually looked 46 back then, even though I was 41. And I don't look 46 now. I look way older than that. And that's not just because of this show, but the reality is doing a show like this every week is tough. It's not easy. And I've done my best, and I've tried to make it fun. And we've done a ton of things on this show. I think we have kind of raised the bar for what it is to be an Eve talk show. And I am looking forward to seeing what Dave does with the show in the future. But at the end of the day, there's my verbal crush again. The bottom line is the reason why this show works, the reason why it's fun, the reason why I did it, and the reason why everybody watched, I think, was not because of me, wasn't because of Mittens. It's because we all love this game, and we love this community, and we want to be here and enjoy it and make it even better. And that's part of what we did on this show. So for all of you who watched over the years, thank you. And the biggest thank you that I have to make is the last thank you I'm going to make, and then I'm signing off. And that is to my wife, Mrs. Brisc. She has put up with, you would not believe the untold hours of bullshit that she has had to put up with for me being on this show. Losing every Saturday, 188 Saturdays have been devoted to this show. And that's time that I haven't been able to spend with her or with my son. And I know she has come to Eve Meets. She has gone to FanFest. She has seen all of you guys in person. She is an Eve widow, as we all say. She has been there the whole time. She's been there beside me. And the show would not have been possible without her either. Because at the end of the day, I'm only as good as I can be when I've got the people that love me around me making it possible to do what I do. So thank you, honey. There she is. She's off camera. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Meta Show for May the 25th, 2024. I'm Brisc Rubal, signing off for the last time. You stay classy, New Eden.